Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, the 8th of October, 2025, and I would like to welcome you back to the Beyond the Mat podcast, episode number 8. Back-to-back weeks, we are so back. How are you doing? I hope you are well. It is Wednesday. We are going into the weekend. We're not that far away. How are you doing? I hope you are well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Episode number 8. We have got so much to talk about. We've got WWE Crown Jewel going down this weekend. We will get into some predictions in a moment. But first of all, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in. Where are you watching? Are you watching on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon? Wherever you're watching, let me know. Leave me a 5-star review. Leave me a comment saying, I am here, Joshy. This is where I am watching. I appreciate you for tuning in. I really do. I say it every single week. I say it every single live. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have got a lot to talk about today, kicking things off with this weekend's Crown Jewel. It only seems fitting that we go into the card to kick things off. It goes down this weekend from Perth, Australia. We have got some early kickoff times, people. If you are in the UK, Friday Night SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Monday Night Raw all go down at 1 p.m. That is literally 12 hours earlier than it normally goes down, and that is incredible news for us. It's a little bit tougher with Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown if you are working, but on the weekend, 1 p.m. starts if you are in the UK, and that is honestly, it's absolute music to my ears. I am very excited to not be staying up all night on a Saturday night. I'm getting old, okay? I'm getting old. Let's get ourselves onto the matches. We have got a pretty stacked lineup up to now, 5 matches. And unless anything is added on this week's Friday Night SmackDown, this is what we've got as of Wednesday, the 8th of October. Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. It is champion versus champion for the Crown Jewel Championship. I don't want to go into how much I don't like the Crown Jewel Championship or the ring. Nevertheless, we're gonna discuss the match. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes 3, Seth Rollins 0. This is an interesting matchup. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins have never had a bad match, and I will hand on heart say that with as much confidence as I can. Their match at Hell in a Cell was one of my favorite of all time. Plenty of incredible moments. Cody taking off the jacket, and he's got the torn pec bruising, which is it is incredible that he went on to deliver such a high-performing match. We've seen them go back and forth on several occasions. We saw them at WrestleMania 40 Night 1, teaming up to take on the OTC Roman Reigns and The Rock, and that was an absolute banger. We know that Cody Rhodes then went on the next night to finish the story, beating Roman Reigns and defeating him for the title, finishing the story, breaking the record of 1,316 days. Cody Rhodes is going one-on-one with my favorite of all time, Seth freaking Rollins. He has been a breath of fresh air, in my opinion, on Raw right now with that title. I believe he is the one who is holding the titles to the highest standards. He, to me, is the true world champion of WWE, and I honestly think the workhorse of WWE right now. This is going to be a great match. Cody Rhodes is 3-up. Rollins has never beat him in singles action, which is something that we have to factor into this. And I think it's because of that and because of how big that they've put on this, I do think Seth Rollins is going to walk away with the victory. Now, we do have to remember that Seth Rollins does have his goon squad. He's got the Vision sat in the back, waiting, ready to go. We know Roman Reigns goes one-on-one with Bronson Reed, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. But it's 3-0. There's no way Seth Rollins lets this get to 4-0, surely. We've seen a lot of great moments from Seth over these past few weeks. He's looking at the watch. He's zoned into the watch while Becky's trying to talk to him. I believe Seth Rollins is going to win this match. I don't feel like either men need this Crown Jewel Championship, but the pressure has been added to Seth Rollins by the wise man, Paul Heyman, the Oracle, that he's going to be questioning why he chose Seth Rollins if Seth Rollins does not win this match. A lot of pressure for Seth Rollins, but I do believe he gets the job done this Saturday night in Perth, Australia. The next match, the best female wrestler in the world today, in my opinion, Stephanie Vaquer, the Raw Women's World Champion, goes one-on-one with Tiffany Stratton, the SmackDown Women's WWE Champion. This is going to be a great match. Two very, very athletic women, two very talented women. But Stephanie Vaquer is on an absolute streak right now. Tiffany Stratton is the longest reigning champion in WWE right now, and I think she only needs a few more weeks. And she beats AJ Lee's title run back when she was the Divas champion, which is quite interesting. Nevertheless, I think Stephanie Vaquer is just too hot right now, and I think the momentum is going to keep shifting. Stephanie Vaquer, by the way, barely been in WWE 12 months, and she has won the NXT North American Championship, the NXT Women's Championship, as well as the Raw Women's World Championship as well. It's incredible stuff from Stephanie Vaquer. Maybe the quickest rising star that we have ever seen in professional wrestling, and I am super, super happy for her. She is incredible. She is killing it, and I think as good as Tiffany Stratton is, and as hot as she is, but with the crowd and how WWE have pushed her like crazy, I believe that Stephanie Vaquer gets the job done in this match. Next up, Rhea Ripley in her home country of Australia. She teams up with Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors. And do you know what? I am very excited for this match because we've seen so many variations of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky going at it with Bianca Belair, with Naomi. And honestly, constantly they're putting on absolute bangers. Add the Kabuki Warriors to that as well. Asuka and Kairi Sane, two incredibly underrated female wrestlers. This match right here is going to be a banger. Now, the Kabuki Warriors are playing a great part of this story, in my opinion. So, Asuka is very much the controlling friend. Kairi Sane doesn't know what to do. She's very much being controlled by everything that Asuka is doing. You know, where Asuka is very, very much in the heads of Kairi Sane. But also Io Sky as well. She turned on Io Sky a few weeks ago. She attacked Rhea Ripley, and that's what is setting up this match. Rhea Ripley is looking out for her friend, Io Sky, after Asuka has always had this issue with Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley does not know why. Now, I think that eventually we are going to see Kairi Sane turn on Asuka and just get fed up with it and maybe split up the Kabuki Warriors, but I do not believe that it is on this night right here. I think we're going to get a really good tag match out of these four ladies right here. These are four of some of the best female wrestlers in the world. The Kabuki Warriors, both of them super, super underrated. Rhea Ripley, probably the most popular female wrestler in the world right now. And Io Sky, I think she is one-on-one with Stephanie Vaquer in terms of who is actually the best female wrestler in the world. Those two right there sit among the best. I'm absolutely telling you. But this match right here is a great one. It's an important one. And I see Rhea Ripley and Io Sky actually coming out with the win in this match. I'm very much looking forward to that one. That is one of my most favorite matches of the night. Speaking of huge matches, the Never Seen 17, John Cena goes one-on-one with AJ Styles. AJ Styles is one of my favorite of all time. John Cena is one of my favorites of all time. And what I will say is this match was always meant to happen. AJ Styles, John Cena didn't just put out, oh, I'd love to wrestle AJ one more time. What do you guys think? And then it was booked. There's just no way that happened. We know that AJ Styles, or we are certain that AJ Styles has been John Cena's opponent for a very, very long time now, but it was very recently that they announced it. And then in the angle of, well, John Cena doesn't pick his opponent, but maybe we let him pick his opponent for this one. I think that's what we're going with here. We've got to remember as well that this came pretty much instantly after the Brock Lesnar stuff. And I think that WWE knew that Brock Lesnar was going to squash John Cena and the fans would not be happy, but they're okay with that as long as they can push something back in the WWE Universe's face of being like, oh, that happened, but AJ Styles and John Cena should be fun, right? And I think that's what this was. This was always meant to happen. This was always in, or penciled in at least. We're going to get it though. John Cena versus AJ Styles. If you would, let me list off a couple of matches, or a few matches that they've had. So these two have met 4 times in total. The first was Money in the Bank 2016. They had, by the way, all of their matches have been 24 minutes long. But we've got a 21, a 24, a 23, and a 24. All 4 matches have been long. They have been very, very good matches. AJ Styles defeated John Cena the first time they ever met back at Money in the Bank 2016. The second match, AJ Styles doubled the lead. He went to 2 wins. SummerSlam 2016 in New York. John Cena comes back 2017. He defeats AJ Styles for the WWE title. And finally, they meet again in 2018, taking it to 2 apiece as John Cena defeated AJ Styles on a SmackDown Live episode back in February 27th, 2018. These boys are 2-2. What does this mean for the final run, though? I believe John Cena does take the win, but it's not about who takes the win in this match. John Cena's not going to win anything more. John Cena's not getting any more titles at this point. I don't think he's going to get the IC title. I don't think he needs to get the IC title even, but I believe that whilst this is a win-win for everybody, John Cena will win it just because it's the farewell tour. But this match is not about who wins it. It's about the nostalgia and about us actually getting a match that we really wanted. One of the matches that a lot of us had on our list that we wanted to see in the final year of John Cena, and we are getting it. And I'm very, very happy we're getting it. AJ Styles is a very deserving opponent. He has had some great rivalry, great matches with Cena in the past. These two have always had some fantastic in-ring chemistry. John Cena has even referred to AJ Styles as one of the few that are his actual soulmates in wrestling, and that is incredible. This match is made to be. I am going to predict a John Cena win versus AJ Styles. Finally, Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. I can't lie to you, if there's a match that I'm not feeling the most, and it's probably why I've left it to last, and I haven't even mean to keep it to last either because I've not read them in order. We've got an Australian street fight between Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed. First of all, how many variations are there? I saw a Sam's on Wrestling video, it was a video, about him asking, how many variations of a street fight do we have, and why do we have this many? We have an Australian street fight. We've had brawls. We've had this, and this. There is about 30 different names for a street fight. What makes an Australian street fight different than a Donnybrook brawl? I don't know. I really don't know, if I'm honest. This one's an Australian street fight. What is going on in an Australian street fight? If someone can fill me in, please let me know. But Roman Reigns does meet Bronson Reed, and we've seen this, right? We've seen Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns in Clash in Paris. I was in Clash in Paris. Did I want to see it again? Not particularly. And I hate to be negative about it. It's a stacked lineup, but why are we getting Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed? Like, could we not have had Bron Breakker? Bron Breakker get his chance on the PLE versus Roman Reigns? I think that would have been a great match. I'm just not sure I'm feeling this one, if I'm honest. Bronson Reed, though, is a fantastic talent. I really like Bronson Reed. I really like Roman Reigns. I just didn't know if I wanted to see this match again. Unless we're going to do something spectacular because there is a street fight now involved. We will see. Last time this match happened, Bronson Reed put out Roman Reigns for a number of weeks. He sent him to the hospital. And Bronson Reed evidently ended up standing tall. This time around, I cannot see Roman Reigns losing this match after already losing to Bronson Reed, because if he loses to Bronson Reed, then what are we doing here, right? So we Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed. We see what happens this weekend. My prediction is a Roman Reigns win. I just could not see it going any other way. I think that does make the most sense. I'm very excited for this card. I do wonder if we're going to get anything else added. I'm not sure if there's talk of a Sami Zayn Open Challenge. Sami Zayn Open Challenge has been so good. So good, honestly. He has brought some I feel like a lot of people have been picking on Sami Zayn for the longest time because he's the underdog but ends up winning everything. But right now, this US title open challenge that he is doing has honestly been so enjoyable. He had Aleister Black this week, Rey Fenix. He has had Javon Evans. He's had Cena. We've had some really, really good matches, and they're not quick wins. We're seeing the Helluva kick into the Blue Thunderbomb. And do you know what? I'm really, really enjoying it. So I really do hope we get something like that. I would love to see it. I think it would top off a nice 6 matches on the card. We've currently got 5. Let's get one more on there, 6. And I think this could be an absolute banger of a card. Hopefully, much better than WrestlePalooza. I believe on paper this is much better than WrestlePalooza. But I guess we just have to find out. And when all is said and done, that is when we can offer our thoughts and opinions. We're going to go on to the questions now. Josh Wrestling, not to be confused with Josh Wrestling. That's me. That's Josh Wrestling. I promise you, I did not ask this question. I know Josh. He's a great guy. Josh Wrestling is asking, in my opinion, will Cody Rhodes deliver on his second title reign? Josh, thanks for the question, my friend. I appreciate you sending that in. And by the way, you can send your questions in if you want to send it over on contact@joshywrestling.com. I've also got the Discord server where you can put it in the podcast questions channel. I've also got, obviously, my TikTok channel, Instagram, wherever you listen to this, you can drop it in the comment section as well. So yeah, Josh is asking, will Cody Rhodes deliver on his second run as the WWE champion? Look, he's had a great start. Is what I would say. After reclaiming the title from Cena back at SummerSlam in what was a very, very enjoyable match, like the best John Cena match of the year, maybe the best Cody Rhodes match of the year. He did really well in that match. He persuaded me that he was the champion again, and I was okay with that. He won that match. John Cena lost that match. We saw the return of Brock Lesnar, etc., etc. A great solid start for Cody Rhodes to put himself back as the North Star of the wrestling industry. I would like to see some new challenges, though. I really would like to see some new challenges. I can't be sitting on the same stuff over and over again, if I'm honest. Drew McIntyre, I think, would have been perfect to take the title. Like we are long awaiting a Drew McIntyre title run, like a long title run. I'm very, very excited for that. CM Punk would be someone great to challenge him, but he's all tied up with Seth at the minute. I guess his success really depends on if he can keep on delivering the storylines that remain engaging and making sure that the title feels important. Like, often he just gets off for a few weeks, similar to kind of what Roman was doing, I guess. But I'm thinking of fresh challenges. Who do I want to see? And I think number 1 on that list is Jacob Fatu. I would love to see Jacob Fatu go after that WWE title. Honestly, stick a rocket right up Jacob Fatu, and boom, we are going. He is the future of the wrestling industry, despite his age, by the way. He is someone that I believe that they can really send to the moon, in fairness. Jacob Fatu, I would love to get a proper feud with Cody Rhodes. Someone else, Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest is looming up there. Aleister Black as well, maybe. Perhaps even an Uncle Howdy. I think an Uncle Howdy with kind of what they want to do and take over the WWE as the Wyatt Six. They've already got the tag team titles. Why does Uncle Howdy not go after the North Star of the wrestling world? I would love to see that. And then someone I think that they're going to finally align with Cody and maybe take the belt eventually is Brock Lesnar. As much as you want to see that, I do think Brock Lesnar is someone that they're going to send back for the title. I'm not certain they've got a home for Brock Lesnar yet, whether that's going to be on Raw or SmackDown. It's going to be interesting to see. But there's just a lot of names there that I would love to see Cody. If it's going to be a successful run, in my mind for Cody Rhodes is fresh challenges, right? Fresh challenges, new storylines, engaging. And in my opinion, it's those names right there. It's Jacob Fatu, it's Damian Priest. Maybe bring Randy Orton back into it. I've been calling for a Randy Orton heel turn for the longest of times. Bring Randy Orton back into it. Let's do a heel run Randy Orton. Then I think we're going to have a cooking second season as the WWE champion for Cody Rhodes. Thank you very much for your question, Josh. It's a really good one. It's one I think about quite often as well, because Cody does have the bigger main title, right? He has the WWE Championship, and in my eyes, that's the one that should be elevated the most. But I think for the most part, Seth's has actually been the one that has been in the golden picture more. But yeah, it's one I'm constantly thinking about. I do wonder what is next for Cody Rhodes. Always, he's got Seth Rollins this weekend, but that's not going to lead to anything further. They're not going to be fighting for each other's championships, at least. Very interested to see where Cody goes with it. Josh, thank you so much for the question, my friend. The next question is from my good friend Riles, and Riles is asking, how did you get into wrestling and when? I'll be honest, I've done a few little pieces on this. So I did a Substack block on it. I also did the first episode of the podcast, which is all about how I got into wrestling, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet just for your question here, so I'm not spending kind of a whole podcast on things that some people may have listened to already. It mainly came down to watching it with family, getting to watch not just WWE, more so TNA back in the day, due to the nature of getting it on certain channels and stuff like that. So it was on Challenge, it was on Dave, I think it was on, and there's some popular British channels over here. But it was really about with the family mostly, watching with my mum, going over to my dad's and managing to watch all the WWE Monday Night Raw on Sky Sports 3 or Friday Night SmackDown on Sky Sports 3, and it really does stem from family. My granddad was a pro wrestler, albeit not a huge pro wrestler, but that's where we got the love of wrestling from, and I think it really does stem down to that. My first ever WrestleMania that I watched was WrestleMania 23, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. I think that's why I've got such a huge admiration and love for John Cena and Shawn Michaels, to be fair. I was just so captivated as a child, and I loved it. As did most kids growing up watching wrestling, right? We love it. We have a passion for it. When I'd go to my dad's, I would make these like fake championship belts. So I'd get 3 pieces of A4 paper. I would draw the centerpiece. I would then draw the two, the strips, what are they even called, man? I don't even know. And then I would cut them out. And stick them all together, and I'd have myself a paper world championship. And that's just how I became deeply invested, man. It was like watching every single show constantly, get into my dad's, get into me mum's, and I'm like, right, we need to watch this, this, and this. And it really does stem from family stuff. I won't lie to you. It really does. Thank you very much for your question, Riles. I know it was a quick one. I just didn't want to go. I wanted to touch on it a little bit, maybe give you a little bit of a teaser. If you would like a full episode on how I got into wrestling, episode number 1 is just for you. It's it's got all that kind of stuff through family and how I got into it and buying wrestling figures and all that kind of stuff. It's definitely the best place to hear it all. I think I probably did about an hour on it, so go and check that out if you can. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. JWW Live is asking, and this is a long question, so I'm going to take a sip for this one. He's asking, well, it's more of a statement at this point. I was listening to CVV's podcast, man. CVV is an absolute inspiration to me, by the way. If seeing how he does his CVV, his Ask CVVs is such an inspiration to me of the one-man band podcast stuff. And I hope I hope what I'm learning is all kind of applying naturally and stuff like that. Anyway, I was watching and listening to CVV's podcast recently with Santi Zapp, another inspiration, and they were talking about what's the best match to show someone who is not into wrestling. Sammy said about Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio 2022 at Summerslam. It's an incredible one. I watched that match later that day and I highly agree with his answer. But what is your answer for the best match to show someone who isn't into wrestling? Sorry for the long question. No problem at all, my friend. Thank you so much for the question. It is very, very much appreciated, buddy. So, yeah, I mean, Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio is technically brilliant. It is an absolute masterpiece. It's so accessible. It is a high flyer versus a highly technical wrestler is always going to be a great match to watch. I mean, if we're going to stick on the Kurt Angle train, let's talk about Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21. That is one of my favorite matches of all time. The athleticism, the storytelling, the emotion, the crowd was on fire. That is a great one to show a wrestling fan for the first time. anything Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle, man. Like, either or, you know. Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, Halloween Havoc 1997. I actually watched this one a couple of days ago, and that's actually one of the first wrestling matches I watched that I just found on YouTube, in all honesty. It was just like a free one that they were kind of putting out on YouTube. I can't remember where I watched it, if I'm honest. But it was also a match that I covered as one of my first ever videos on TikTok, which is very, very interesting as well. It was all about that particular match. Underrated matches. A lot of people actually know that match even happened. Rey Mysterio in that famous purple gear, as well as Eddie Guerrero. It was an incredible match. It was so much fun. It was fast. It was so athletic. That's always one of my favorites. We've got a few here from OG Armani as well, who I wanted to... OG Armani commented right under the post, but I wanted to get these in because some of these are my favorite as well, actually. Shawn Michaels versus Taker at WrestleMania 25. It's one of the biggest reasons that I am a huge Shawn Michaels fan. Absolutely love The Undertaker as well. He is actually on my Mount Rushmore. The Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys versus Edge and Christian at what I believe is the best WrestleMania of all time, that being WrestleMania 17. Without a shot, my favorite WrestleMania of all time. It is, and that ladder match right there really set the precedent of what ladder matches should be ever. Okay, another ladder match that he's actually recommended here was the first Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 21. Bit of trivia. Do you know who the first ever Money in the Bank ladder winner was? I'll give you 2 seconds. Edge. Edge was the first ever person defeating Chris Jericho, Shelton, Benjamin, Chris Benoit, Christian, and Kane, and it was a great match, actually. A really, really good match. He went on to Cena, he cashed in on in the end. But yeah, I think there's some really, really good shouts, to be fair, OG Armani. In addition to the ones I added around Eddie Guerrero and Ray, Shawn versus Kurt, I think if you wanted to choose a more recent one, I'd go with a few, actually. I'd go with Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky at Mania. I would go with Naomi versus Bianca versus Rhea. Sorry, no, Naomi, Io, and Rhea. I would go with Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns from this year's WrestleMania. I would also go with Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at last year's WrestleMania, WrestleMania 4 even. Like, I think that is a great shout right there as well, if I'm honest. Because there's so many throwbacks. You know, you've got Solo coming in, you've got The Rock, you've got Taker, you've got Cena. It's the stuff around the Shield with Seth Rollins getting involved. Yeah, there's so much to it. It's a masterpiece, that match. It really, really is a masterpiece. Just checking on the time. I don't want to run over too much, but we do have one final question. And I've thought about this one for a while, and I cannot answer this with one single answer. So LeBron James is asking, who is my favorite 2000s wrestler and wrestlers? And honestly, it's really tough because I have so many. Like, my favorite wrestlers, kind of top 4: AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, and Cena as well. I mean, that's 5, but I wrote a little line for each of them. So Shawn Michaels, iconic matches, storytelling, genius, and just an astonishing influence on the era, right? John Cena, the face of the era. He carried WWE in a time when it need carrying most, and for that, he is the greatest of all time. They've never seen 17. He's the best, man. The best. Rey Mysterio, high-flying underdog. He's a fan favorite. What's not to like about Rey Mysterio, man? He's been around forever. He's one of the best to ever do it. The greatest luchador of all time, without a doubt. Eddie Guerrero, he was definitely one of my favorites in the 2000s. Charismatic, incredible in-ring psychology. I used to love that stuff because it was just so different, right? Kurt Angle is certainly on the list. Technical wizard. Storyline telling that not many people had. He was incredible. Chris Jericho, that one's probably going to throw a few people off. Versatile performer in multiple roles. That man, and I've said it on many occasions, is that he can get involved in, he can do as much. He can come back and reinvent himself on so many different occasions. We've seen it so many times. Chris Jericho constantly reinventing the wheel. And honestly, for that, I tip my hat. It's incredible. It really, really is. Finally, AJ Styles, man, like, not WWE, but his influence outside of WWE during the TNA days, putting TNA on the map. Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and without a doubt, one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. Like, that right there is my list of best 2000s wrestlers, and each of them have a completely different line after them on why I believe that they are my favorite of those eras, and also their influence as well. It's just, yeah, we are in a different time, you know. We are absolutely in a different time. Okay, I actually didn't see this one at the bottom, but Ethan is asking, well, I don't even know if Ethan is asking. He is saying, hot take, Seth Rollins cash-in at SummerSlam is the greatest WWE moment of all time. From the storyline to the crowd reaction to the hit, it's genuinely unreal. What are your thoughts? I mean, Ethan, man, I'm so biased because Seth is the GOAT for me, man. Seth is my GOAT. It's tough. I don't know. I don't know if it's the biggest moment of all time, and I'll be 100% realistic with you. I'm not sure if at first you said SummerSlam, so I have been thinking SummerSlam, but there's a lot of huge moments in wrestling, man. A lot of huge moments. This one I just haven't had time to prepare for. We've had some crazy moments, man. Hulk versus The Rock. Roman versus Cody goes up there, you know. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Hulk Hogan in all of his many WrestleMania moments, the Undertaker streak. Like, it's so hard to give the greatest WWE moment of all time. And as much as I absolutely love Seth and he's the best, man, I cannot state what is the greatest moment of all time. I can't lie to you. But I wanted to make sure that I could say something at least. But it's totally understandable. It was a massive moment, and to be honest, we probably got a little bit of recency bias as well, because it is the most recent thing to happen, and it was huge, it was massive, it was incredible. Ethan, thank you, buddy. LeBron, thank you. JWW, Riles, Josh Wrestling, guys, thank you all so much. That was all I really had time for on this week's episode of the Beyond the Mat podcast, episode number 8. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been another great episode. I would like to say thank you. Make sure you hit a 5-star, leave a thumbs up, leave a nice comment, all that good stuff, and get your questions in for next week's podcast episode, which gets recorded on a Tuesday and goes out on a Wednesday. Until then, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy Crown Jewel, Friday Night SmackDown, and Monday Night Raw, and I will see you next week for episode number 8.